Hello once again, welcome to another devlog for my yet untitled camping game. I am trying to get myself out of tutorial hell, and what I wanted to do was just build a little FPS. Now, this got out of scope really fast, so I never finished it, but it was never really a project I wanted to go all the way to the end. I'm not disappointed that this is another one in the trash basket, so to speak. But I learned a lot. I learned how to build environments, how to do animations in Blender, how to do animations in Godot rather, how to make a first-person controller, and I tried to use AI to make some of my models, but the models it produced weren't very good, but it was a fun little experiment. So I ended up opening up a new project to start working on my game officially, and I had a lot of questions with how I wanted the flow of the game to work after doing this. So the first thing I did was try to get plugins or assets that I thought would be useful for the game so I don't have to build everything myself. And the first one here was a terrain plugin for Godot, and just sort of mapping out what I wanted my first island to look like, because the game is going to be a series of 3 small islands or 4 small islands. But yeah, just kind of at the time here, I'm feeling a little bit more confident with Godot, so I was ready to sort of jump in and, for my third project, be the one I'm going to work on. So I just wanted to go into Paint, or in this case I guess a Sprite, and take a moment to sort of map out how I envision the world of this game looking, and sort of the general idea of what I want the player to experience and do in the game. Because I felt like if I just had like a slab of terrain in my project for Godot, then I'm gonna get lost really quickly, or even worse, something will be way out of scope really fast. So I thought it'd be a good time before I really truly begin to know where the end goal is. So begin with the end in mind, so to speak. So I think there'll be probably 3 to 4 islands, and these islands will be fairly small with the exception of the main one in the middle, which will have the most to do and most to see on it. So, just try to map out, okay, here's sort of the house you start in, and how many cabins are going to be on this island, how many people have gone camping here at the same time, and you might have a neighbor, and there's probably 3 or 4 cabins on this island, and there should be probably an activity center by the beach here. So maybe this is where you play volleyball, and maybe this is where you meet some other NPCs. And this island over here is probably like a hermit. And, I figure there's probably, you start in one house and you sort of have a goal of kind of similar to Short Hike, where you needed to collect a certain amount of feathers to climb the island. Well, in my game, you'll need a certain amount of seashells to swim from the main island to the end island. So maybe you need 6, maybe you need 7. I'm not sure yet. This is all just pre-planning, sort of where I'm going to take the player, what I'm going to expect out of them. And I want it so that these other islands that you're close to, you also have to swim to to give you an idea of sort of how much stamina or how many shells it takes to swim. So you get it kind of tutorialized. Okay, before I can make it to the island in the north, you know, going to this island takes me 2 or 3. And every house, I want there to be something to do. So, you know, at the beach, maybe you play volleyball, maybe you play cards at one person's house. You go to the hermit and maybe he gives you the fishing rod and that's how you fish. And everything in the game, I want to be built with a purpose. So no house is there for just flair or just an NPC that talks to you and nothing happens. Like the NPC on the island by himself, he's there to give you the fishing rod and maybe a journal of how many fish you've caught, and you know, maybe someone wants you to catch butterflies. This is my quick 5-second version of a butterfly in a spray. And yeah, I don't want much, but what's there has to be there with purpose. That's the only real detail in mind I have right now for all my NPCs that I'm going to put in the game. Yeah, so I'm just continuing mapping out, and you know, I think the game will probably take over 3 days, in-game days. So on the first night you get there and you know, maybe your parents say, oh, your friend came over and she wanted to say hi, or maybe your parents say, you know, we need some firewood, go to the neighbor's house and get firewood. You go there and there's a girl you like and she likes you, but you're young and so you don't really say it, and she says, oh, I have something important to tell you, you know, come meet me on the island tomorrow. I can't tell you tonight, just meet me there tomorrow. And that's the first day. So you get a bit of a tutorial section where you're just walking over to your neighbors, talking to someone. Maybe there's like maybe you play cards or something, and then you get the firewood and come home. Day 2 would be an open world, much like a short hike. You kind of casually let free and you play the game however you want. And the game ends once you've collected enough shells to swim to the island, then you swim back together. That's day 2. And she leaves at night. Day 3 is just, you know, your last chance to explore, and you end the game when you go back to your mom and dad and say, hey, I've seen everything I want to see, let's go home. That's sort of the idea I have for now. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. This is probably the first official devlog. The other one was maybe a preamble, but yeah, I hope you guys kind of are getting the idea of what I'm going to attempt to create, and I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you.